Hi, everybody. Good afternoon and welcome to the Importance of Self-Care. I am the Caregiver Support Service Coordinator for the town of Barnstable for the Council on Aging. I've been with the Council on Aging for into my 17th year. And I worked many years with caregivers in our community. And I understand that when we are a caregiver, we give, but there's not a lot to get. So we have to remember that if we need to take care of ourselves in the process, because we can get lost in the caregiving as well. So let me, excuse me. Okay, let's think about this. If anybody's ever been on an airplane and something happens on the airplane, the oxygen mask descends from in front of you, and what do? And as we all know, the first rule is you put on your own oxygen mask before you assist with anybody else. Only when we help ourselves can we be more effective helping other people as well. Caring for yourself is one of the most important and most often forgotten things we do as caregivers. So when your needs are taken care of, the person you care for will benefit from that. How often do you get a phone call? Hey, do you want to go out for lunch? Do you want to go take a walk? And your first instinct is to say no. And sometimes that saying no, it holds us back in bettering our care. Because as I said before, the more we care for somebody else, the more we're giving, yet we're forgetting about ourselves. Understanding the effects of caregiving on your health and well-being. Caregivers require a lot of give, and sometimes we give away as so much that we forget to take time for ourselves. Caregiving is rewarding. I'm not downplaying the caregiving part, but caregiving can be rewarding and gratifying to those. If we lose ourselves in the process, it can have adverse effects on our physical and mental health. Signs you might not be caring for yourself. Sleep deprivation. Does anybody ever fall asleep and then wake up at 2 and then, you're not quite sure where you're going? You're a little stressed out. You're a little short-tempered. It's not because you're not caring for your person. You might not be caring for yourself and understanding that this is a stressful situation. I need time to balance my needs and the needs of the person I'm caring for. Poor eating habits. I see this all the time. I even saw it with myself when I was a caregiver for my parents. I would be so busy caring for them, and I would be eating on the go, and I would just be eating whatever junk that rolled by me out of convenience. A little bit of lack of energy. That can be a combination of doing all this amazing caregiving, yet it's draining us. Emotionally, it's draining us a little bit. Physically, and we just need a little bit of time to regroup. Feeling isolated when it's just you and I and your person you're caring for, that outlet that we need as human beings isn't there. Isolation has proven to be a deficit to our mental and physical well-being as well. And sometimes we're so focused on our person we're caring for, we make it to the doctor for them, we provide the perfect care for them, we monitor their medication. We often neglect our own medical needs. We put our doctor's appointments to the side. We put taking care of ourselves to the side, so we kind of ignore our own medical needs as we are caring for somebody else. Now, we're going to create a path of understanding the importance of self-care. We're going to set realistic goals. I don't expect anybody to stop watching this video and saying, I'm going to go climb Mount Everest next week and leave my people behind. No, I'm thinking we're going to set realistic goals. We're going to add a little time to our lives, and then we're going to grow our time so we can have a little bit more self-care for ourselves. And then we're going to talk about accepting help, looking for assistance. I'm not talking about hiring an army to come into the home, but I'm talking about maybe, even doing a delivery service for groceries. Let's take that off your plate as well. I'm talking about maybe asking somebody in your world if they can help out with some chores around the house, even just taking out the garbage. It might sound small, but it's one less thing we need to worry about. We're going to talk about getting connected, meeting other caregivers, meeting other supports in our community. The town of Barnstable has wonderful supports at the Barnstable Council on Aging, which is located at the Barnstable Adult Community Center. And we can connect you with local agencies, we can connect you with elder services, support groups, but even some exercise programs, respite programs that would benefit your family, the person you're caring for, and who's number one? You yourself. We're going to talk about starting a journal. That journal is incredibly important for, validating your feelings, validating the life that you are providing for the person you're caring for. We're going to talk about how you can value your time. Because sometimes we get so caught up in the caregiving roller coaster that we forget that our time is valuable. Okay, realistic goals. We would all love to run away at times, but this is not realistic. Let's think about some goals. Let's be specific. Goals should be simple, and they should be stated in the present. I am available for myself. I'm going to take 10 minutes to meditate. I'm going to take 15 minutes to take a walk. And if you can't go down the street, I'm going to walk around the house. I'm going to take some time for me. I want you to think about this. If you had 10 minutes just to yourself, what would you do? If you had an hour to yourself, what would you do? If you had 4 hours to yourself, what would you do? A whole day, that sounds crazy. What would you do with your day? And think about that. Let's make some of these goals realistic. Let's make them manageable, measurable, and motivational. Set small goals that promote positive and successful results. Practice some deep breathing classes. Reduce your stress. Think about meditation. Take 15 minutes to watch your favorite comedy show if you have that time. Take a slot of time that you have available, and it's hard to find in the beginning, but then you're like, all right, I can wake up a little bit earlier and I can manage some things to do for myself at that time, or maybe after the person goes to sleep. Prioritize your needs. Set a day to get your hair appointment. Set a day to go for a walk, or any non-caregiving need that you might want to do. Okay? Reward. Try to set a mini reward for yourself. Let's say going to the library, getting a new book, having a manicure, going for a treat, getting an ice cream. That would be my treat as well. These are small, realistic goals that will help you find a balance in that caregiving life. Because sometimes, as I've said, we forget about ourselves in the caregiving process. Accepting help. Create a list of ways that other people can help. I've talked about, bringing people in if that's possible. Sometimes that can be a little tricky, but think about things. People often say, how can I help you? And that can be an overwhelming question to a caregiver, like, oh, my list could be this big. You take a minute, think about it. How could they help? Could they assist with meals? If, you never said, I'd like to give you a hand. Just, if they want to offer a casserole, that would be wonderful. It'd be great if you could run to the dump for me when you're on your way to the dump. Not the entire house or the basement full of trash, but a couple of bags is fine. Small little chores around the house. We all have to change our batteries during, when the time change comes. So maybe a hand changing the batteries in the fire alarms as well. Helping fold laundry. It sounds simple. Some people enjoy it and love it. That would not be me. But maybe somebody would like to help you out with that. Spend some time with your person. Helping one person might not change the world, but it could change the world for one person. So if you're watching this and you're not a caregiver, maybe think about, hey, I do know a couple of caregivers in my life. Maybe I'll offer to give them a little bit of a hand. I can guarantee they'll be very appreciative. Getting connected, find resources, okay? The town of Barnstable has wonderful resources at the Barnstable Council on Aging. We have support groups. We have exercise programs. We have respite programs. We have caregiver programs. We have educational programs. They're right at your fingertip. We may not be able to solve anything, but we are very happy to guide you in your caregiver needs to the right resources. Elder Services at Cape and Islands. They are great. They're a wonderful connection. They lead many support groups virtually. They lead them in person all over the Cape. So if it's not convenient at this point, they will probably have one at another. They're also a great resource for if you need some help in your house, if you need homemaking, if you need home care in your house. They are a good resource to have. They also are in charge of the Meals on Wheels for Cape Cod and the islands. So if making those meals, can be challenging at times, think about their opportunity to have Meals on Wheels delivered to the home. We can connect you with Veteran Affairs or the VA, where the Veteran Administration, and what they would do if you are a vet or you're a wife or a spouse of a vet, that they can look up and see if you might have any additional benefits. They have some wonderful programs that sometimes are underutilized because they don't have people don't have an opportunity to find out about them. So we want to kind of look at all avenues that would support you in your caregiving journey. We want to look at Shine, which basically looks at the insurances that you're covering, your Part D, which is the open enrollment right now, for your drug company that might you be utilizing. It could help you look at the most appropriate insurance that would benefit you and your person as well. So you want to take a look at that. We've already discussed Meals on Wheels, and I will honestly say it's a wonderful visit from the driver. It's quick, it's simple. They deliver the meal, you heat it up in the microwave, and you enjoy a nice meal. No pressure, limited cooking. Okay. Now, starting a journal. I'm not asking you to write War and Peace. I'm not asking you to have the great American novel. But I'm thinking that maybe starting a journal will organize your thoughts and your feelings. It might prioritize some problems. It might prioritize some successes. It will track some progress and growth, which could be very useful when explaining your situation to a medical professional or another family member, or sometimes somebody who's interested in what you're doing, because you can look back. Because I don't think caregivers realize how much we do in a day. We get ourselves ready to go. We get our person up and ready. We deal with the emotional stress of the person. We deal with our own. We provide 3 meals a day, entertainment, socialization, and, constant companionship. I often ask people, who was trained for this? And the answer is not that many people. So when we become a caregiver, there's a lot of different thought processes, and we need to be acknowledge them. And sometimes starting a journal, having these thoughts, having these feelings, putting them on paper, validates what you're doing, but it also shows yourself like, hey, this is happening. And it also can be a great kind of log for this is my caregiving journey and this is my person. This is happening, okay? Starting a journal can reduce stress. It can reduce anxiety. It can improve communication because you can go back and look and say, this is what happened with myself and the person I'm caring for. These are things that are going on and they're true. They will honor your feelings because you're writing down how you're feeling in the moment. And I want you to remember that. Sometimes it's how you're feeling for a long time, but a lot of times we have moments. We have moments of these feelings, and they can be moments of wonder. They can be moments of happiness. but sometimes there are moments of frustration and irritation. And when we write these down, we're honoring them, and hopefully we're setting them free. And then we can kind of read back in our journal and say, you know what? What triggered those feelings? What triggered the good feelings? Because oftentimes we focus on the negative, but we can also kind of turn that around and focus like, we had a great day the other day. Let me look back at my journal. What did we do? Was there anything different? Was the sun shining? Did we have extra company? I don't know, but you can kind of get that baseline by looking at your journal. All right. This is something most caregivers don't do. Value your time, because we are so busy giving our time away. We don't have enough time to value our own, okay? So look at your day. I want you to try to think about that 5 minutes I was talking about. What would I do if I had 5 minutes? What would I do with a half an hour? What would I do with my time with an hour, a half a day, a whole day? Set time for yourself. Find little increments and let us grow them. Would you get a manicure? Would you read a book? Would you listen to music? Would you take a walk around your yard? Would you garden? Would you call a friend? Think about what exactly you would want to do. Now think about valuing your time as getting help with some of your caregiver tasks. And we've talked about this. We could have a paid professional come in, but we often have people in our world that offer. And as I said before, sometimes it's overwhelming when all of these thoughts of what we would need help with, it kind of gets a lot. So let's make a list. Make a list in that journal I was talking about of what are some of the little caregiver tasks that somebody could help me with? Folding the laundry, taking out the garbage, creating a dinner, ordering a pre-made dinner as well. Think of these little things as well. Maybe setting up a movie system that your person cares for would love to watch. And you know what? Maybe somebody said, oh, you know what? I can set up those tracks for you. Okay. Give yourself credit for being a caregiver. It's not an easy job. I'm going to tell you that right now. It is not easy. And again, not many of us train for it. I'm a professional caregiver, but when I was a personal caregiver for my parents, I still had to say, take a deep breath, listen to what you already know, and give yourself credit, because it's not easy. It's a lot of give, sometimes not a lot of get. Give yourself credit. You're doing a great job. Take your own advice. This is a good one, because I can honestly tell you, I will give advice to most people, and sometimes I have to listen to my own advice I give out. If your friend was in trouble in a situation, what would you say to them if you felt that they were giving everything out, they didn't have time for themselves? I can guarantee you would say, you know what? You need to put yourself first. The more you prioritize yourself, the more you give yourself a break, a moment, a time to relax, and you can regroup. Important word, regroup. Because sometimes being a caregiver, we need to step back, take a deep breath, and regroup the situation as well. And breathe. Oftentimes as a caregiver, we're so caught up, we're tight, our body is tight, our shoulders are tight, and we forget to breathe. So take a deep breath in, breathe all the way in, and then let it out. You need to breathe and let the good in and let the bad out as well. Resources in our community. I'm going to stress the Barnstable Council on Aging. It's at the Barnstable Adult Community Center at 825 Falmouth Road. We have supports for you at our center. Elder Services of Cape Cod and the island. Addresses changes in needs in elders in our community. They help people who are retired, who are aging in place, to kind of to support the needs they have to stay at home as well. If your person has memory impairment, we have a wonderful local organization, it's the Alzheimer's Family Support Center. They currently have a respite program and a communication center at the Cape Cod Mall. It's right down the road. We can make it there as well. We have Shine, serving the health insurance needs of everyone. And it provides free health insurance information, counseling, assistance to Massachusetts residents with Medicare and their caregivers as well. We have a local office at the Barnstable Council on Aging, but we also have a connection with the Barnstable County. We have the Department of Veterans Services that will help their veterans and their family to obtain federal, state, and local benefits, which they may be entitled to. And we have numerous support groups all around Cape Cod to help support the caregiver in your role as well. I'm going to stop my screen share. Hi, here we go. And we're going to talk about just, again, being a caregiver is an incredible gift to people in our community. It's an incredible gift for the person you're caring for. It can be overwhelming at times. So kind of remembering to take care of you, taking those deep breaths, taking the minute for yourself is incredibly important. And remind yourself that your time that you're giving is valued. And what you're doing is a gift for your person, but also is a gift for you as well. So again, thank you for joining me today. It's been a pleasure. I look forward to seeing you again. If you have any questions about caregiving, please call me at the Barnstable Council on Aging. My name is Stacey Cullen. Our telephone number is 508-862-4750. I look forward to hearing from you.